Melissa, Alyssa, Alyssa, Melissa, Alyssa Milano, the the American actress, recently went on NBC News and did a little interview where she basically talked about how the way to beat Trump is just to focus on the candidate that can beat Trump and not to worry about policy, and that's just really misguided in a lot of reasons, because the way that you can beat Trump is by focusing on the policy, focus on, how, let's say, Medicare for all will benefit, millions of people in this country, or how free college will benefit, millions of people in this country, or how, reining in the military-industrial complex will be really good for this country, or, investing in clean energy will be really good for this country. So I think it's just really a misguided perspective to think that, because basically the Democrats did this the last election cycle in 2016 with propping up Hillary Clinton, and she was for the status quo, and then we ended up with Trump, because he at least looked like the change candidate, and like I said, Hillary Clinton was the status quo. And it's easy for somebody in that position of power and wealth, like Alyssa Milano is, to say, let's just focus on the candidate that will beat Trump, when realizing that there's a lot of people that are actually struggling and really hurting in this country, and by focusing on the policies that'll help all of those people is how we will could beat Trump in this next election cycle. That's why it's really important to support progressive candidates who support progressive policies, like Bernie Sanders, like Tulsi Gabbard, like Elizabeth Warren to a lesser extent, because she also supported the increased military budget. So we need to, sorry, that's very annoying. We need to, sorry about that, it was my work phone, on my lunch break, so I'm not going to answer it. So basically, just very misguided perspective, and like I said, it's easy for her to say that because of her wealth and privilege. So I mean, she'll be alright no matter who is president, honestly, because she's got money and power, but that doesn't hold true for the vast majority of Americans. So we need to highlight how these progressive policies will benefit our lives. Like I said, things like free college, Medicare for all, implementing higher tax rates on the wealthy, reintroducing, Glass-Steagall, things of that nature, a living wage, all these different progressive policies that, the progressive candidates support. I can guarantee you one thing: if the Democratic establishment props up another, another status quo candidate, i.e. Joe Biden, Beto O'Rourke, Pete Buttigieg, is that how you say his last name? Buttigieg, is secular talk refers to him as. So if that happens, then we're guaranteed another Trump term in the Oval Office or the White House. So focus on the policy. Focus on the policy. That is how we beat Trump. Focus on how these progressive policies will benefit the vast majority of Americans. I would love to hear thoughts on this subject, as well as on Alyssa Milano's interview that she gave on NBC News. I first heard about it from a segment that Secular Talk did on YouTube, as well as the Majority Report Sam Cedar show. But I'm sure you could, do a Google search or a YouTube search and find it. So remember to be kind to each other, the animals, the planet, and ourselves. Peace.